learned a lot when it comes to understanding human-centered design and all the stuff. But personally, I want to draw on the personal level because this has been personal for me ever since the boot camp. Everything has been personal and it's been beautiful for me. So I will just speak on the network and learn. And it means you meet the right people, you put yourself out there. It's just like K-Factor talked about, no, not K-Factor, this lady, Kelly, she talked about storytelling for impact, and K-Factor talked about personal branding. And this has helped me over time. And I remember during the interview before we all got here, I was telling you about how I resigned and how I'm putting myself out there. And it's been more of meeting people, knowing what they do, knowing how I can help them, and them understanding that, oh, TLC, this is happening. Can you come and join? And it's been like that for me ever since. And just to deviate a bit, so Sostivibe is celebrating 4 years, and we were talking about our stories. I joined last year, and within that last year, I wanted to put out a story of myself, how I joined, and it was a beautiful journey for me because I didn't know much, even though I had experience while I was in school volunteering as a food director. But resigning from my job and wanting to go into development space was overwhelming. I didn't know what to start. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I had to take those little baby steps, and I did. I volunteered with Sostivibe, I volunteered Nigeria, ACLs, and the likes. So when I even saw the application for Sozo bootcamp, I was like, can I do this? I don't even know if I will be picked, but I just kept finding solace in the fact that, okay, they're looking for newbies, they're looking for people that are very young, zero startup, or at least 3 years old. And I did everything I could based on the little that I know about Sostivibe even. I didn't know much. And then I got in, and it was beautiful getting the support even from Jennifer. I was new, but the support was overwhelming for a new person. And then after the boot camp, I was narrating my experience with the boot camp with them, and one other guy, a subscriber, just sent me a message. I'm like, wow, that was powerful. Like someone said, are you a lecturer? Because of the way I was explaining everything within a short while. And that also within a very short while, they asked me if I would really want to be part of the family food, and I said yes. And I was made the team lead of the women development team just within a very short while. It was like everything was happening so fast, but I look back and I'm grateful that I made a decision, and I made up my mind to do whatever it takes to get there. And with the little steps, I kept getting there. And it's not easy, especially during this lockdown. I've been having mental breakdown at interval. There were days that I could even cry that what is going on? When will I put myself out there? When will I get the next job that would even pay more? But I still get support from the little people that I know telling me that Chelsea will be fine. And even from this Sustivibe family. And it's been beautiful because I just saw the network and learn just playing out without even having to struggle. And it's like the best for me so far. That's it, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take one more person. Oyinda. Yeah. Oyinda, go ahead. I've unmuted you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
I've learned a whole lot since the boot camp, and then even for the strategic, the fellowship and all that. But one thing I just want to say is, before now, I've been running my organization based on passion, and then I just look out for, I really want to impact lives. I'm not even concerned whether money is coming in or not. That was how I was before now. And from the time we had the impact, income, and influence, it has really changed the way I do things. Let me give an example. During this COVID-19, I started an online mentoring program for teenagers. It's actually a paid mentorship. And then I have some parents who signed up for it, and some even paid as much as like for a 6 month stretch. And then I also had some parents who, when they heard that they were going to make payment, they just said, oh, they will get back to me, and they didn't pay. Before now, I would have been feeling so bad. Like, hey, look at those ones that couldn't pay. That means I can't impact their lives. That means this. But I've come to realize that yeah, when they see that you're giving value, they should be able to offer something for that value. And we have parents who already signed up and are doing. So I'm not even feeling bad that some people haven't paid for it. But I'm glad that I have people who were able to pay and are still paying and are joining in the past. So if I hadn't gotten to this fellowship, I'll still be running on that compassion, passion, and doing everything free without getting income or anything back. But I do. So I think I've been able to put that into my work. So right now I'm doing the program. I'm not feeling bad that they are not here, even though they didn't pay. Yeah, but I'm just glad that we've started and it's running and I can put physically put the things I've learned into practice. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very good feedback. Thank you, you guys. It's interesting to see how to balance passion and income. I think Sifaso would talk more about that. So let me leave that. I saw Fatoye's hand. Do you still want to speak, John?
Yeah, I can. Permit me.
John,
Can you hear me, sir?
we can hear you now.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. We can hear you now.
Like network and the problem. Hello?
And we are hearing you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello, John. We can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me, sir? Okay, yeah. So I said it's been a really beautiful journey for. Uh, we have been planning projects through. I mean, my organization has been planning our projects during this COVID period, so that as soon as the whole thing ends, would be able to launch them come later this year. So I want to say that every of the things we've learned, somehow when we first started, it looked strange. But now, by God's grace, I've been able to see how the whole link up into helping you create a very strong project that can also be self-sustainable. And then the storytelling part is something that I've been working on. And then K Factors whole new perspective helped me to redefine it. And then lastly, just so that I don't take too much time, the whole ongoing fellowship has also um, increased my interest in international development rather, and I've been increasing knowledge in other aspects too. And I love the fact that the platform permits us to also work together. I've met a good number of people with whom I'm working out a few projects with, the likes of Emmanuel Hawe, David Omokaji, and Omotoyo Seidri. So it's been a beautiful time. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, one last person before I go to our guest. I think I saw Tosin's hand. Then Tosin, do you still want to speak?
No, sir. No, sir.
Thanks. Yeah, cool. So I believe you can all see my screen. This is the shortest profile I could find. I was looking for the shortest one, but I think this is the shortest I could find. So based on aside all the things you can see on your screen, he has gone ahead to win the Future Awards. He has gone ahead to start a PhD. He has done so many things that he alone will be able to tell you. But this is just the few, like maybe few of those things. I think they also did not add on this profile that he actually won the African Youth Awards for agriculture. They did not have that, but we know, and they also did not add the Consular General Award to this one, but we know. So, um, thank you so much for joining us today, Sipasi. We are so honored and privileged to have you here, and I would hand over the mic to you now. So, you have the floor. can you hear me? Okay, I have to unmute you. Can you hear? Okay, yeah, cool.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Of course, I know you have to mute and unmute yourself for you to, respond. Shegun, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate. Shegun has been an amazing friend. Thank you for the work you do. Shegun is a friend, probably older than him, but he's doing more work than than I do. And I'm still doing. And I'm happy to say, I'm proud to say that he's someone we learn from, and sometimes we also look up to each other, in this achievement. To every one of you, I really want to congratulate you for this wonderful opportunity that the platform has actually given you guys. Well done. I could remember, I'm going to tell you how I started. And within a short while, it is actually something I cannot imagine that I'm here today. Being here today doesn't mean that I've actually achieved anything, because, the higher you go, the more things you discover that you've not done, like I feel I have a lot of stone I still need to turn. So I really want to congratulate you. This happened to be an opportunity someone like me did not actually get, when I started my career in the NGO part. And I think, anyways, I would like to see your faces, but I understand the issue of network in Nigeria. It might be a bit difficult, it might affect your connection and what have you, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Tolani. Yeah, and I may not be able to see everyone. Reason being that, yeah, I'm actually on my phone, trying to do this on my phone. It's not been easy. Blessing, thank you. Shegun, thank you. Fatoye, John, thank you. These are the three people I can see for now. Don't worry, I'm going to try as much as possible to go around. So I would really like to go through how I got started, and I think you'll be motivated by the story. And you can achieve whatever you desire. Whatever you see can be achievable. It is actually achievable. I mean, the little I've actually gotten were things I never imagined. So talk less of things you have imagined. So I want to tell you that the greatest dream I had in life was already accomplished. So I can say that again. The greatest dream I had in life was already accomplished. Because when I was growing up, I studied animal production and health, first degree, master's degree. I studied animal science in UI. I went to FUTA. Great Futarians if you're in the house, and greatest UI if you're in the house. So we don't even know your schools. Don't worry. We have 2 universities in Nigeria.
Better by far.
I love that. Like we have 2 universities or 3 universities in Nigeria: Federal University of Technology, Akure, University of Ibadan, and all others. And yeah, so I went to those 2 schools, and my greatest dream in life was to be a successful farmer. Then being a successful farmer is very relative. Like the definition for a successful farmer for me then was to have a big farm. Having a big farm is relative. Having a big farm for me at that particular time was to have a farm of 5,000 birds. I know if I have 5,000 birds, I can run over 5 billion naira. I felt that was the greatest dream in my life. But sincerely speaking, I have left that stage a long time ago. It was very difficult and everything. But one thing that actually interests me about my own story was the fact that I never pretended on my journey to success. I mean, I've not gotten there, but on this journey, there was no pretense. It was very authentic, which is why Shegun wants me to, talk to you about authenticity, and the frustrations, the pain and stuff like that we go through during this particular stuff. So for people coming into the sector, it is normal, to be motivated by something, I was motivated by my community because I was born into a very poor family, not so poor family, but along the line things happened in life and things changed a bit. So I became a product of a single mother. Life became so difficult for the single mother with 4 children. Our last one has autism. Autism in Nigeria is not something um, our government pay attention to, as defined in the, developed countries. So, it was a shame, for you to have, for us to have someone that is autistic at home. It was a shame, but now it's no longer a shame, like that is how we feel in Nigeria. How many people can relate to that? Let me just see your hand if you can relate to that. Okay. So, but I discovered that I can't remain living in my past. I can't just be living in my pain. I need to stand, for what I believe and what I do. Then I had a passion. The passion I have was for agriculture, and it's still in agriculture. So, but the passion I have was to see how I could actually use agriculture to overcome poverty, for myself and my family. That was a passion I had. But along the line, I discovered that I was actually doing better than so many families, so many people. I travel across Nigeria, I see a lot of people in abject poverty. And from what I studied, I discovered that we are not the owner of technology in Nigeria. We are not the owner of so many things in Nigeria, but I feel so strongly that we are the owner of agriculture. But the truth is, when we leverage on agriculture, when we leverage technology in agriculture, then we can improve our productivity, you know. So I understand that part, but I feel that we are the owner of agriculture and we can change the narrative. We can change the issue of hunger and eating poverty in Africa through agriculture. So that was the passion. So I think number one thing for you to know during this conversation is your passion is very important. Like your driving force is very important to you going into social work. It is very important. So the question is, why are you going into social work? I told you the reason why I went into it. And we are motivated by different things. Before now, people are motivated by money. They want to get money from social work. So that is why they go into it. Some people, currently, people are motivated by travels. People want to travel. And that is the reason why they are trying to, go into the social space. People are motivated by fame. Like, oh, I want to be this, I want to be known as this, I want people to respect me and stuff like that. That is another reason for you to, that is another reason why people go into it. And people go into it for respect. That is another reason why people go into it. So people go into these things for different reasons. But let me just tell you a bit. So as I discovered that, then I decided to leverage it on my profession, which is agriculture. And I started going to very rural communities. Remember, I was very poor. I discovered people that are poorer than I was. So I decided to offer help to them. So I go into rural communities. I train them in sustainable agriculture, how they could fight poverty effectively and eating hunger through sustainable agriculture. So that was the reason why I went into what I started. So I started this organization called Protect Ozone. But before then, I had the opportunity to travel to Tanzania. That was in 2015, and of course, I told you I was poor. I went to Tanzania. Definitely something happened along the line. My mother borrowed money to pay for that particular flight. Guys, that experience changed my entire life. So number two thing I would like to tell you is take every opportunity on transit. It is very important. Take every opportunity on transit. So on my way to Tanzania, I discovered that I used, okay, I won't mention the airline, but, so we got to, on our way to Ethiopia, I landed, I landed over in Ethiopia. I laid over in Ethiopia. So as we're about to lay over in Ethiopia, the airliner said, on behalf of each passenger on board, we are planting a tree each. I was like, I studied animal production and health. I didn't know the correlation between climate change and whatever. And they said they were doing that to combat ozone layer depletion and whatever. I was like, I don't give a damn. Like, why will you be using my money to do that? So on our way back to Nigeria, guess what? The airliner told us, thank you for using our airline. Next time you are going out of Nigeria, please consider flying with us. Now, I want you to notice something. When we're going into their country, they said we're planting a tree, right? Can I see if you are with me, let me just see your hand. Okay, thank you. So they said they were planting a tree in their own country, right? But taking me back to my country, Nigeria, they said I should come and pay again for them to take me out of Nigeria. So as a passionate youth, I said to myself that, okay, if these people are planting trees in their country to fight climate change, I can also do that in Nigeria. Do you understand? So I now combine that with agriculture. So we now do what we call sustainable smart city agriculture, or what we call climate smart agriculture, from that particular experience and my field of study. So I brought that into my local community. Number 3, you have to be innovative. You have to be innovative. So when I talk about innovation, it's not about bringing technology or sophisticated technology or killing yourself about it. No, just see how things work differently and it benefits you, your society, and your community. So I was very innovative with it and everything. And of course, because I was doing this passionately and I was very true to myself, like I go into my community the way I am, like I don't pretend, I show them the way it is. It helped me with something. It's connected me with 2 sets of people in the community. So these 2 sets of people is something I actually want you to jot down. It's connected me with the power holders in the community and the other power holders in the community. So if you're in the social space, you have to understand the concept of the power holders and other power holders. Are we together? Okay. So now when I talk about the power holders are the people holding official position within the communities. So I'm talking about the pastors in the communities. I'm talking about the imams in the communities. I'm talking about the CDA chairman within the community and stuff like that. So people that has positions within the community are the power holders. So it connected me with the power holders, having a very good relationship with them. And it also connected me with the other power holders, having a relationship with them. So when I talk about the other power holders, you will discover, or you will agree with me, that in your own personal community, there are some people that are not title holders. They are not the pastors, they are not the imams, they are not CDA chairman and everything. But for you to make things work in that particular community, you get, even your CDA chairman will tell you to go and meet social person, Mr. Sipasi, anything he says. Do you understand? Do you have such a person in your community? Can I see your hand? Like the person is not holding any title. Yeah, thank you. They are not holding any title. They are not doing anything, They are not holding any title. They are not doing anything. But they have so much influence in that particular community. So it gave me this leverage on power holders and other power holders. And I was able to leverage on it. So it created a community. So another mistake I actually discovered that social change makers do make is that because they feel that, Sipasi is in agriculture and probably is doing well to an extent in agriculture, they also want to go start an agricultural NGO. Do you understand? So they now go to a community. They go to a community and decide to create a solution that the community does not need. Hello, are we together? So they decide to create a solution the community don't need. For example, you go to a community that all they need is pipe-borne water, and you are trying to do sustainable agricultural project with them. It doesn't make sense. Like, You need to ask yourself, what is driving you? So along this period, remember I started in 2015. I was doing this job pro bono. To be candid with you, I never knew what was called grants at that particular time. I never knew there were opportunities in working for your community free of charge. I was doing it out of a pure heart until we got invited by Eden Equatorial Award in South Korea that said, oh, okay, we want to identify people that are doing amazing work locally and they are not known. That was when I knew that there was even a benefit to this particular thing. Do you understand? So, you need to really know what is driving you. Grant was not the thing that was driving me. Fame was not the thing that was driving me. I mean, like money, what's it called? Appeal to pity was not the thing that was driving me. I was being driven by my passion for my community. But guess what? In less than 2 years, everything you could ever think of came into the picture. Everything you could ever think of. So we got grants. The fame came with it. Several awards, money, everything came with it. In fact, one of the reasons why I'm seated there to the glory of God is because of that passion. One of the reasons why I'm sitting here is because of that vision, and I worked with it perfectly. So, in all this journey, you need to realize something, that people are watching you. And again, there's what we call track record. It is very important for you to have a steady track record. A lot of people, you see them today because people are into STEM. All they want to do is STEM. Tomorrow they tell you that, oh, there's no money in STEM. When you focus just on agriculture, there is money in agriculture. You see them shift from their STEM training into agriculture. Tomorrow they will tell you, oh, no, there's no money in agriculture. Go to public speaking. Tomorrow they go to public speaking. They start moving from one area to another, from one area to another. So when you do that, you don't have a track record. Do you understand? So, it doesn't make you authentic. It makes you so light when you are jumping from one civic engagement to another. It makes you so light. It is different if you are working as a volunteer. If you identify that your strength is in voluntary service with other organizations and you are helping organizations, to get things running, that is very different. But for you to move from one place to another because, oh, there's a grant here, for example, if you see a grant from the US consulate and say that they are addressing the issue of waterborne disease, then you write a proposal along waterborne disease. Tomorrow they bring out another one, they are doing agriculture. You write a proposal. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So you are a confused person. You are not authentic. So from day one, when you mention Sipasi, you don't need anyone to tell you that this guy is in agriculture. Everything about me speaks about my passion, my very first passion, and the consistency. There was no money. There was no recognition at that particular time. There was no travels at that particular time. But okay, let me just tell you a little story, something that happened. So while I was doing my work and everything, there came an opportunity for someone in Africa to represent Nigeria at the G20 summit in Germany on agriculture. The topic for the summit, for the G20 summit in 2017 was a world without hunger, and they needed a youth in Africa that understands agriculture theoretically and also has a grassroots impact of agricultural intervention. So I was in my rural community working in 2017. The opportunity came to me. Guess what? Because remember, I was very poor then. I went to the embassy. The visa officer saw the letter from the G20, and she knew that the G20 truly invited me. But the letter was contradictory to the person it was saying, because I was looking so grounded. Now I'm fat. I was looking so grounded. I was looking so hungry. My eye were inside, my cheeks were in and stuff like that. And I was denied the visa. Why? Because I mean, I didn't look like the vision I was carrying at that particular time. But let me tell you, your vision will always speak for you. Your strength, your consistency will always speak for you. So guess what? The German government, they wrote to the German consulate in Lagos and told them, we know Sipasi. Kindly give him his visa. 48 hours to my trip, I received an apology letter from the consulate. They called me. They gave me my visa. 48 hours to my trip, they gave me my visa. I had to prepare and I went for the conference. And that actually changed a lot of things. So there is power in consistency. Just imagine, assuming I left agriculture because money was not coming in. I was not making money. Assuming I was driven by money, by grant and everything, nothing would happen. And in 2017, the US consulate gave us our very first grant, 5,000 US dollars. The following year, because of what we're able to do, because, I was working without money 2 years before then, and I saw 5,000 US dollars. It's about 2 million naira with the current exchange rate in Nigeria. That's huge money. That was the first time I was going to see million in my life. Do you understand? And I did a lot. Myself and my team, we did a lot with the money. The second year, let me tell you, in 2018, they multiplied the funds by 2. Do you understand? They gave us double of what they gave us a year before. So that actually changed the story. And also, along the line, some of the things that happen that we go through as someone that is following his passion religiously is number one, failure. Is someone saying anything? Okay, so one of the things that we go through is failure. For example, at this stage we are now, I mean, every one of us, we apply for some certain grants and they reject our application. It is normal. So the only reason why you have your grant accepted is because you have failed severally and you have learned from your mistakes. You've developed your capacity as what you are doing with Sozo. You've developed your capacity and you apply again. Don't give up. Imagine, I applied for Mandela Washington Fellowship for 5 times. That means I applied for 5 years. I got it last year. I got it at the very right time. In less than 4 months within the fellowship, I got an opportunity within that particular fellowship. I got an opportunity that brought me back to the United States within 4 months for my PhD. Like, these are opportunities along your path of destiny. So number 2, I mentioned failure. Number 2, grants. Like, you are expecting grants and you've put in your application, you qualify for the first stage, you qualify for the second stage, and the third stage, they tell you no. That is actually totally depressing. Out of every 20 grants I've written in my life, I only get 1. So, and that one, I make sure that it makes that difference. So the rate at which I mean, myself and my team, the rate at which we implement the grants actually bring us to the top of the radar. So you must be able to do things the right way. Number 3, so many times we get frustrated. It is normal. I've been so hungry, like sometimes I don't have transport fare. Sometimes I need to trek distances. I live in Ikorodu, like there was a time I didn't have a car and I was doing all this, So it's because of the underlying passion that is driving you. The question is, what is your passion? What is driving you? I could remember I was invited for a particular TV interview. The money I had on me for my food that particular day was what I used to transport myself to the station, to the TV station. And I almost walked halfway back to Ikorodu. That day I was very hungry. But today I can never forget that story because it's one of my success stories. Do you understand? So, these things comes along the line, but it is very normal for it to happen if you are aiming at success. Because success does not come cheap. You have to pay the price for success. So what can you do? What can you do to actually make yourself exceptional in this particular field? number one, you have to be authentic. You have to be real to yourself. It is very important to be very real to yourself. So many of us pretend a lot in this age. You see so many people doing projects they cannot handle. And you see so many people over-reporting their projects. I think one of the things that helped us in Protect Ozone was the fact that we try our best not to over-report our projects, and we keep very strong track record of our projects and the processes. We got the grant from the first grant we got was $500. Then $500 was 180,000 naira. I mean, that was the first grant we got. The second was $500 from the pollination project as well. The third came from World Connect. I mean, I won't tell you that amount. The fifth came from, what was it called? From US consulate. The sixth came from the US consulate. The seventh came from the German consulate. We started getting grants. I mean, the one we get this year is always bigger than the one we've gotten in the previous years. Why? That is called track record. Because people want to put their money where they trust. Do you understand? Where they have their trust. So that is why people are actually investing. So as someone that is running an NGO or trying to go into the social space, so you have to understand the place of track record. And again, your integrity matters a lot. I must tell you that one of the benefits of running an NGO is gaining the trust of people. Like, I can walk into organizations, I can walk into offices, I can walk into some places in Aso Rock, I can walk into some special advisors to the president's office. Why? Because of trust I've gained through the work I do. And people were only able to see the track record in one thing, in agriculture, and they placed me on several platforms. I could remember when I got the sci-fi opportunity to be on sci-fi. Sorry, Shegun, how many minutes do I have more, please? I need to know, because I would like to take questions so that I don't go beyond. Are you there?
15.
Oh, thank you. So I could remember when I got the sci-fi fellowship, when I got into sci-fi, Carrington Youth Fellowship initiative of the US Consulate. What an amazing fellowship. I got there, because then my English was so bad, I couldn't construct a sentence well, like there are lots of things, I couldn't construct a sentence well, I had people that went to, well, I don't want to use the word better universities, but, there are some people that can speak well, and, they just do things in modern way. And I'm just from the farm, I'm a farm boy, like I got onto that particular fellowship, and I decided to focus on doing my work well. Like, I did it so well that at the end of the fellowship here, I was given the US Consular General's Award and also the Best Project Award, the Nigerian American Partnership Award at the US Consular General's house. Then it was John Hefbury, the former Consular General. That also changed things drastically. So, like, what I'm trying to tell you is this: like, anything you do, your hand finds doing, that one thing, do it well, spend time on it. Don't think it's not working so you won't do it. Like, so many things failed on our project. We did some project that failed, but we kept on improving on it. That is why we are here now. Today, we are taking a break, but because we did it well, it has really given us a lot to actually do. So another thing I would like to mention is forcing projects on communities. This is something I've actually noticed with a lot of NGOs, like a lot of, not well, NGOs and people in the NGO space, like people in the social space. Like, you go into a community, you discover that because of your own personal interest, for example, I'm always interested in agriculture and climate change. So I go into a community and, like, that is not their aim. And I decide to, like, force my own vision on them. Guys, it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think it's the right thing to do, because it won't work out. It won't add to your own personal value. You'll be frustrated on it, especially if it's a long-time project. You'll be very frustrated on it. You have to beg people. I could remember the very first project we did that I brought to my community. I mean, my community actually needed the project at that particular time, but we chose the wrong people. The project failed big time. The project failed. So I think there should be a very strong connection between your own vision and where you want to implement it. It is very, very, very important. Don't force solution. Some people will create a problem or not even create a problem. They'll just go into a community and force a solution onto them. No, don't do it. Try as much as possible. One of the things that will make you very successful in this particular sector, I mean, I would like you to write this down. One of the things that will make you successful in this particular sector is being at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. Like being at the right community, at the right time, implementing the right projects. Being at the right community, at the right time, implementing the right projects. So if you are at the right community, at the right time, implementing a wrong project, it is wrong. If you're at the right community, at the wrong time, implementing a right project, it is wrong. If you're in the wrong community at the right time, implementing a right project, it is very wrong. So that will put a lot of stress on you. And another reality I would like to share with you is passion can go hungry. Passion can go hungry. See, I have experienced hunger severally because of my passion. Why? Because I did not create a sustainable means of income for myself. Am I making sense to anybody? Can I just see your hand? Thank you. So, passion can go hungry. That is when you'll be frustrated. That is when they will invite you to meetings. You get there after speaking so well about your work, and you are going back home. You are thinking that, oh my God, people will think I'm rich and I am not rich. How many of you have experienced that? I've experienced that severally. They will invite me to go speak at somewhere, after speaking and everything, I will just go home and be thinking, oh my God, I don't have what to eat this evening and stuff like that. It has happened. Passion can go hungry. My advice for you, my dear brothers and sisters, because I can see that you guys are passionate, I can see the kind of change that, you've experienced during the course of this fellowship, but try as much as possible to get yourself sorted, at least a sustainable financial income. It is very important. If there's something I am regretting today, that thing is because I did not create a sustainable financial income for myself. That would have reduced a lot of stress. So many times I have to depend on friends for resources. I have to depend on family for food and stuff like that. I am telling you because I've been there, I've experienced it. Forget the fact that I'm now in the US running my PhD and everything, got a scholarship. Yeah, that happened. And my scholarship, it came, another story for another day. Forget about all those things. But if I have an opportunity to rewrite my story, I think the first thing I would do for myself is to create a sustainable income for myself. So by creating a sustainable income for myself, I'll be able to help my society better. And you should understand, I don't know, I guess I'm speaking with only Nigerians. So you understand how our society is. Our society is expecting so much from us, for a very long time, I was unable, to meet up with the expectation from the society. But I'm also grateful that I had the opportunity to clear off that. But as a young person coming on board, or as someone that is new coming into the system, I really want you and I urge you to create a sustainable income and also ask yourself 3 basic questions of life. Why are you doing this? How are you going to do it? And when are you supposed to start? Remember, you have to be at the right community, at the right time, doing the right thing, and you have to be real with yourself. It is very important to be real with yourself. So at this point, I would like to convince you and not confuse you that it is good for you to be authentic to yourself when it comes to, sustainable, in the social space, being a leader in the social space. So I would love for you to ask me questions, personal questions. I'll be happy to answer you. And yeah, I want to see you guys go and succeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. So, and again, let me just say this very quickly. Like, just call me Sipasi. I know that, we have our boss here, like Shegun is here. I notice you guys are doing SAR and everything, but just call me Sipasi. I'm fine. Yeah. It brings me closer to you. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can thank you so much, Sipasi. Thank you
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
so much. You can just use the hand button. Then I think Sipasi, I made you host, so you should be able to see their hand whenever they
Oh, okay, please, can you help me out because I'm on my phone. I'm doing this on my phone. I mean, can you just help out and,
help out. I'll help out.
Okay, thank you.
2 hands now. I can see Faud. Faud, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Sipasi.
Good evening. Thank you, Fal.
This is Fuad, and thanks for the other time. This is actually 2 now. We had a mentorship under you, that we facilitated the program at Lagos Bootcamp. So this is my second time of encountering you, and it's been so wonderful as it is the first time. So thank you.
Thank you.
And again, I contacted you on LinkedIn the other time about a project with the Ministry of Water Resources. So you actually helped me out a bit, though we were unable to put through with that too. So I'm kind of, I don't know, but one thing I would like to actually ask the question I would like to ask is one that centers around probably the last point you raised. That's
Okay.
the point that has to do with, of course, logic has to be over passion, and it has to be, passion can actually go hungry, and nobody wants to go hungry in this business, not because you want to actually oil or line your pockets, but because it is important that the soul that hopes to push through with this kind of project must be one that is not sick itself. So I want you to actually, and as a matter of fact, I think I've actually been putting this question onto this program. I understand you combine the position of being the founder of Potato Zone, and you combine it with being the CEO of this. And you talked about the fact that you have to make sure you have this sustainable financial plan for yourself within the organization, so that it does not begin to look like an haggard looking man begins to run an organization that is actually going well. So I would like you to actually talk about the fact how you actually juxtapose, how you actually run this organization, and making sure that in the course of doing so, something you love and something you are passionate about, I want you to actually use the organizational context in this case to actually push through with this. How you are able to juxtapose making sure you are okay. I've seen a lot of good guys who are actually doing this, and they are the co-founder, they are the founder, and they are the CEO, the board, the everything. How do you navigate through with this? Thank you. That's my question.
Yeah, thank you so much. That is a very good question. A very good question. So along the line, I discovered that I was not financially sustainable. Then I applied for Empower Agro. Empower Agro. Is it Agric or Agro? Anyone? Empower Agro. So imagine a whole Sipasi and applying for Empower Agro. And my salary till I left Nigeria was 30,000 naira. That was less than $100. You know, that was unable to carry me for a whole month anyways. But the truth is, it cushioned the effect. So what I'm trying to say is that regardless of the fact that we're getting this million in grants, that is not sustainable because it comes. The funders can dictate whether they want to give you or not, you know. But I look for something so little that was helping me cushion some things. 30,000 naira. Do you know the meaning of 30,000 naira? I mean, you guys know now. Like, very little, but I didn't look at myself. For example, here in the US, people do everything. Like, every job here is dignified. Like, you can be washing the bathroom. I mean, when I talk about bathroom, I mean toilet and everything. People will respect you and you make your money. But in Nigeria, we don't want to be seen doing some certain stuff. We don't want to be seen collecting little money, but if that is what you can do, that's going to bring a bit of sustainability, that's going to cushion whatever you are doing presently. I mean, it's better you get it done. I mean, today, sorry, I mean, I won't tell you how much I get in a month anyways. So like moving from 30,000 naira to what we're earning in hard currency at this particular time is a huge difference. Do you understand what I'm talking about? It's a huge difference. I mean, so getting 30,000 naira does not even mean anything to me again. Like, does not even mean anything. I can't even remember again. Why? Because I've gotten to that stage. So what I'm trying to say is that in as much as you want to run an NGO, if you actually want to run an NGO, you are the founder, you are the this, you are the that, you have board of trustees and everything. The truth is, if you are not making progress, your board of trustees will not be responsive to you. I want you to know that. If you are not making progress, board of trustees will not be responsive to you. That is the truth. To me, I want to invest in someone that I can't see where it's going. The only reason why I'm going to be friend with you is because I know where you are going and I want to be part of your success. Like, of course, you might not be able to see it. Some people believed in me when I didn't see it in myself, and they invested in me. Today, I reference them. So I think it is very important that even when you are doing this, you have to aim at success. Meanwhile, your sanity matters a lot. You can't live without food. You can't live without being sustainable, and that will make you insane. So try as much as possible to get yourself, your mind together before even impacting your society. It is very important. So by getting yourself together, go get small thing, very small thing that will make you sustainable. Get it done. Then pursue your passion. Gradually, things will improve along the line. Yeah. Was I able to answer your question?
Yeah, you did actually, and I think it's actually given me an insight into probably what I can engage in personally to give myself that edge personally and to actually move my organization. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you, sir.
again, if you're a core member, it's a great opportunity, or if you're an intending core member, it's a great opportunity for you to try and error. So if you're a core member, you are getting paid by the state government, the federal government is paying you, and you can design a project that you're going to use for your CDS and also continue with it after your NYC. That is just amazing because you have stuff to sustain yourself through your try and error. And after that, you have what's it called now? Track record to present to organizations and stuff like that. Yeah. And the reason why you are selected for this program is because you are young, your future is bright, and you are doing the right thing. So you are doing the right thing, but you are trying to figure out how you want to maneuver some certain hurdle. That is why you came onto this program. That's why you were given this opportunity. So, I mean, you just need to use it right. All right, I can see another hand there, Shegun.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, my name is Amata David.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Yeah,
I think the first time I heard about you was from Mrs. Bukola Thomas. I don't know if you know.
I don't,
Bukola
anyways.
Thomas,
Yeah.
she does this NYC SDG training facilitation during camp.
Okay.
Yeah, she told me that you are part of the NYC SDG facilitators too. And she told me your story. Sometimes we met in Kogiste.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I also train core members too. So that was the first she told me about you. And when I heard Dr. Shegun saying that you were coming to speak with us today, I was actually looking forward to seeing you. So thank you so much. I was inspired by your lecture and everything and the motivation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the comments. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question? I can see some hands. Justin.
Hello.
Sipasi,
right?
Yes, Sipasi.
Hello, Mr. Sipasi.
Yes.
I would say this was very, very timely.
Thank you.
That this morning I was frustrated. I had to
Please
go
hold on,
through
please. I'm sorry. Can you hold on, please? Guys, permit me. I need to put my phone on charge. Here, power is constant, so we don't charge. So we realize when it's going off. So please, just permit me. Thank you. A second, please. Oh, okay. I understand why you are laughing anyways, but let's continue with this lecture. Yeah, go ahead, please, Justin. Hello?
Hello, can you hear
Yeah, I
me?
can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sipasi.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, this talk was very, very timely because what you talk about frustration, about projects, about what I'm doing, all this, I experienced it this morning very much. I had to think back and ask myself, why am I into this? Because what I do actually is I'm an optometrist, an eye care provider, but I'm focused on how we can give quality eye health services to vulnerable rural communities. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So, however, over time, why I co-founded an NGO, I found it quite challenging in building, getting the right team, and eventually executing programs because of the form. I make reference of sustainability. So what I did was to register the ideas with other strong uh, funded or other organizations that are able to fund such projects. So I more like worked under them in order to drive the idea of which I was working on. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Justin, I can hear you. I don't know if you can.
We can hear you. Go ahead. I think
Okay,
I think finally.
okay. Let me go ahead then.
Yeah, I will probably just convey
Can I
your
go? Okay, okay. So
typing your message so that I can convey it to him when he comes back.
okay, I should type in the message.
Yes, yes. That way you won't list, you won't leave, we won't lose the content of what you're trying to pass across. Okay, he's back, so I think you
Okay,
can continue. Okay, Sipasi is back, so you can just continue.
okay. So the bottom line about us, then one of the thought was I had calls from my friend this morning, and they said, "What am I still doing when I can actually practice outside this country?" So, but yeah, my passion is still wanting to do something
I'm
for this
sorry.
country.
Can you repeat your question again? I was cut off.
Hello.
I was cut off. Can you repeat your question,
Okay.
please? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I was trying to. Okay. That is so before the question. So the question now is based on sustainability of one's work. Does partnering with an organization to fund their, they providing an idea to them, since they have a platform of funding it, you work under them. Does it tell well about track record for your own foundation or whole organization?
Okay.
Because it's sustainability now. If you are running an AG and you don't have funds, I tend to do a project where you don't have the funds for it. You now give the idea to another NGO that is into that space, but you are now more like a consultant or a kind of employee working for their project to fly. And at the end, I don't know if such background does it have a negative effect on the founding organization.
So thank you so much, Justin. That is a very good question. Very good question. So, for example, I can speak with Shegun because Shegun has a bigger platform than we have in Protector Zone. So I can speak with Shegun that, oh, Shegun, let us run an agricultural training project together because Shegun can access more fund. Shegun is bigger than, Sozo, his organization is bigger than our own organization, but they are not experts. Shegun's organization are not experts in agriculture. We are the experts in protect ozone in agriculture. So we can decide to write a grant together. Like I will be the expert contributing from an expert perspective into the proposal. While Shegun is using his own platform, his training skills and platform, to bring the project on board. Then we run the project together. Then it will be Sozo in partnership with Protect Ozone, like his organization in partnership with our own organization. So Shegun is going to report the project in their own perspective, that they've done a leadership training in agriculture. And I will also write a report from our own perspective as an expert. So if you are working with an organization, if you want to work for an organization, it's different from working with an organization. So it depends. For example, if an organization has a grant to run a project, and because they know you can do it, they are bringing you on board, you are still subject to that organization because they are buying your expertise. Do you understand me? They are buying your expertise.
Yeah.
But if an organization invites you that you guys should write a proposal together, then you are running that project together. Then you can report from different perspectives. So you can report it as your own project, but you have to acknowledge it is, it's only in Nigeria we don't acknowledge people. Like we don't, that thing is, it's felony, to be candid. You have to, we should start learning how to acknowledge people. For example, this recording that you guys are doing, there is no way Shegun won't put in there that, with Sipasi or Protect Ozone, the name will come out. And if I want to report it as well, I'm going to report it that it is not my own project. This organization is inviting me to do this. So we are currently doing this particular one together. Do you understand? So if I am being paid, that means that I don't have the power to report it as my project. But if I am not paid, it's an agreement you guys should talk about. Like, for example, I've done project that I went to the person and I told the person that, come, yeah, we are going to do this project together, but can I report it as this? Can we take this particular session and report it as our own project? Then if it's fine, it's something you agree and you move ahead with. Yeah. Am I able to answer your question? Yeah. So do we have another person?
Good evening, Sipasi.
Good evening.
Okay, so my name is Obasanjo.
Obasanjo, wow.
Yeah, thanks for the wonderful session. I think this is the third time I'm hearing from you, and you have been such a good inspiration to me before I started my organization. So I want to ask a question concerning tracking, where you have a track record. So for my own organization is a startup where we are trying to build leaders from the young population in low-income communities. Now, what we are facing is that we are running it from 3 thematic areas, and this is affecting people viewing the way, or is it how we run our programs. Like, once they know Sipasi is running program under agriculture.
Right.
But for my access to quality education, leadership development, and raising responsible citizens in terms of politics. So is there a way, what would be your advice for us concerning that, so that people can know what we stand for?
So let me quickly address that. Thank you. Very good question, because a lot of us are in that situation. Please, if you can't hear me, drop a message so that I know you can hear. So a lot of us find ourselves in that particular situation. For example, before now, I used to say that in Protect Ozone, we are doing food, hair, and water. Food, hair, water, and environment. WEFA. That is water, environment, food, and hair. So we call it WEFA. So we discovered that that was just too ambiguous. Do you understand? Too ambiguous. Like, yeah, we're an organization that is running projects in water, environment, food, and it looks so cumbersome. So we decided to say that we do climate smart agriculture. So when we talk about climate smart agriculture, we are reducing the use of water. It has to do with environment, it has to do with food, and it has to do with hair. Do you understand? So you have to be very innovative about it. So you are doing leadership, you are doing this, you are doing that. So everything you are doing governance and stuff like that. Everything you are doing, I think they are all under leadership.
Okay.
So I think they are all under. That's what I think. I mean, I don't know. You know better. I won't tell you about your organization. But if you can put all these things under one particular heading, so you cannot say leadership. Today you are running a program, leadership, semicolon, good governance. Do you understand? That is one project. Tomorrow you are doing leadership, semicolon, another thing. So leadership can fit in so many things. So you can have leadership, then have 3 thematic area under leadership. That makes more sense. A lot of people will be able to relate more that, oh, they are doing leadership. Okay, Sipasi, we are doing agriculture, we are doing poultry, we are doing crops, we are doing this, we are doing that. We are doing environment and everything, but we can't just put everything together. So it's better you put it under an umbrella and you push forward with it.
Okay, sir. Thank you so
Was I
much.
able to answer your question, my brother?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, good evening. This is Blessing. I Sipasi. Before
Hi,
another person
Blessing.
take my spot and then they ask my question. Okay.
Oh,
So thank you for today's session. It's really been insightful. I could
thank you.
relate with plenty things like trekking from a program, how they will not even
We're
ask whether you
together.
drink water,
Oh,
but it's
my.
for the best.
Yes.
So my question is, I want to ask a question in relation to when you were talking about power holders and the other power holders.
Right.
So last year, while I was serving, I did an experimental project with NYSC. Although NYSC did not approve the project, but I went ahead to do it because there was a long story around it, but I still did it anyway. So the
Great.
program was more like I empowered secondary school people during the summer holiday. There are many of them going
Do we have
out, so
summer
I
in
empowered them
Nigeria?
with summer holiday. Let's see,
Okay.
April, August holiday, like during
Oh,
that
okay.
long
Okay.
holiday.
Okay.
Yeah, so they call it summer holiday in Nigeria. Well, so I empower them on learning vocational skills, and then also on life skills. So for the vocational skills, I got funds to empower like 29 of them, free kits to be able to start up their business. But I noticed that in one of the school, it was in 3 schools. In one of the schools that I did the project, the principal of that school was throwing passes at me. So it
Ah,
was really
nice.
difficult to go back. It was difficult to go back, to get feedback from him. So that's my question is around power holders. How do you manage a power holder that is supposed to be like the power holder? For example, if it was a teacher, it would have been very easy to report to the principal. But now you're dealing with
So
person because of the fact that you have future work to do with them. So how do you manage that kind of thing?
beautiful. I mean, very, very beautiful and insightful. So we've come across that in actually our dealings, and of course, I'm sure my brother, Shegun, can also tell you a lot of experience in that. So when you are dealing with a school that the principal is throwing passes at you, one thing we need to understand in our work is that you have to protect yourself, especially when you're a female, you know. So for example, it's never, I don't think it's a good idea for like you to like approach people, especially when you are the female gender, to approach power holders, alone. It's very good to go in team. Most times, you can even, in your conversation, you tell it to the power holder that, oh, myself and my boyfriend, like you are just shielding yourself. So in 2018, am I correct? Yeah, 2018, I had these 3 German ladies. They came from Germany to visit me in Ikorodu. So they stayed 3 weeks with me in Ikorodu. Anytime we go out and we are not feeling safe at a particular point, I had an orientation with them before going out to some particular areas. I told them that when we get to this area, I'm going to introduce you as my girlfriend. And they were cool with it. So it makes them safe, and it also protected them in some certain situations. So that is one of the things you can actually, because the truth is, I don't want to say it is normal for them to throw passes, but that is nature. And I'm sure that we've gotten to a point that we should not lose relationship with people because they are throwing passes. You know, like they might just be attracted by what they are saying, which is fine, you know, and which might not be fine, but you know, and you are still interested in working in that place because of your mission. The students are your mission, I guess. So you have to find a way to maneuver. So if you are using the skill of, you know, you have to go in team. And in such a situation, is a man, you know, you give them your male colleagues contact. Do you understand? Or when they contact you personally, try as much as possible to go in twos or threes. And yeah, I feel that is the best thing you can do. But when you get to a point whereby things are not really working and you know the principal is becoming mean, there's no big deal in you taking a step back. Or if you want to take it legal, I don't think, well, I'm not sure whether there's anything wrong in throwing passes, but throwing it in a rude way might be very wrong. Then you can go to education board. You know, we have what they call education board or board of education in Lagos. Do you understand? To make your report if you want to make it legal, which is very fine if you want to do it that way. But really, creating relationship, there's a way you can, I feel there's a way you can actually turn it into a beneficiary relationship. That's what I think, without compromising your integrity and your core values. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yes, you did. You did.
Well,
Thank
not
you.
really. Welcome. So we can talk about that later, blessing.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Fatoye. Thank you very much. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, Fatoye.
All right, so thank you very much for the session. Let me first say that it's been very inspiring because everything you said or you've taught us tonight has been about you, like the passion, the whole inspiration thing behind what you're doing. The energy is showing right there. So my very quick questions. One, your first travel, the one you said your mom had to raise money for.
Right.
How early in your journey was it? Because okay, my first travel outside the country to Rwanda was last year, and that came after like three other opportunities that I had refused because I had to raise the fund for the travels and the accommodation and all that. So I didn't get to know the importance of it until the fourth one, which I eventually went for, which indeed made a difference. So how early was it? What inspired your going there? What did you go to do? And I just want to know because this is I feel this is a mistake I've made, and I would like to learn from you what inspired that journey. How early was it, and what inspired it? That's one. Two, by passing, you made mention of your team. Yeah. So I want to know how much contribution did your team um, do to your achievement so far, and how did you form your team? Like, what was your team formation strategy like? Then, lastly, Fuhad talked about the sustainability part of us having income, and then on the other side, the NGO running itself, which is something I feel is very beautiful because we can all relate with that experience of struggles that we've been through. By God's grace, my organization sponsors children trying to curb the problem of inaccessibility to basic education in
Wow.
North Central Nigeria. And we have 48 children currently enjoying our scholarship.
Wow.
And I've had to sponsor kits, provide over 40,000 naira scholarship at a point with only 17 naira in my own account. And all those kind of experience. So, but on the other hand, where you want to do work to generate income for yourself, and the NGO seems to be taking so much of your time. I mean, it's not providing that avenue, what do you suggest? Because what I'm looking at resorting to is, as a student, trying to make sure that the project you do in the organization can self-run itself. If you know what I'm trying to say, so that it's self-sustainable, and then just in a way so that I won't have to be spending from my own pocket so much into running the NGO. So those three questions: first about your first journey, second about team formation, third about um, this sustainability thing. Thank you very much.
Wow, wonderful question. Wonderful question. So at this point, I would also like you to know that I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing from my own experience. My brother, my first travel was very early in my career. So, and the travel was even before I started my career as a developer, like community development person, you know. So it was during my master's in UI. I was just going online and I saw an opportunity I saw a symposium in Tanzania. So I applied for it. And I wrote to the director that I have an idea I would like to share at the symposium, and on sustainable agriculture, how to increase the milk yield of local dairy cattle and what have you. And the director said, "Oh, wow. So please write this down. You can mail anybody, write mail to anybody. The highest thing they will do, the worst thing is that they won't respond." Guess what? I think I was speaking with Shegun last week, he might correct me. And Shegun was telling me that, Sipasi, you know what? Write mails to anybody. Like, just write, put it out. So I just wrote a mail to the director, out of self-motivation, that I have this idea. And you have to be confident. I have this idea, and I would like to share at the conference and everything. It was my very first time of going to such a conference, like sharing stuff. Then the man accepted my application and what have you and stuff like that. And I told my mom about it. She keyed into the vision, went all the way out, to get the stuff and everything ready. I went. It was an high opener for me. Listen, as much as possible, it's not about traveling, leaving West Africa or leaving Africa. As much as possible, after this COVID-19, I'm just kidding, try as much as possible to travel. So traveling might be, if you are used to Lagos or Southwest, you can explore the northern part or eastern part a bit. It helps you a lot. So I went on that trip. That was where I got the idea of Protect Ozone, as I mentioned earlier. I went to just give what I know, to share what I know. And on that particular journey, my story changed. Do you understand? So I traveled very early. And in as much as I don't really want people to invest money they don't have into trips to impress people that don't care, I will say that again. So many people travel because they want to impress people. Like, don't spend money you don't have on trips that does not make sense to impress people that does not care. Do you understand? Like, do you want to travel today to show me, Sipasi, or to show Shegun that you care, that, oh, you are a big boy or something? Like, I don't care. So spend limited resources for trips that matters. It helps in your learning. So, I don't want to see it. I won't see it as a mistake that you went to Rwanda or something. I won't see it as a mistake. No, I'm sure you learned something on that particular trip, which you might not be aware of. It's a very great exposure. So that being said, your second question was team formation. See, as you go along in life, you will meet people. So when I started, I met people that originally believed in me, in my vision, and they worked with me. I brought them to my house. We were living together. I was living together with another 3 guys in my own house. Though They were the one feeding, we contribute money to eat, but they were living to, it was not comfortable for me. It was not comfortable for them. We had one that left a very rural community in Oyo State and came and lived with me in Lagos. That was huge commitment. Do you understand? Because they believed in me. But at the long run, because we all believe in agriculture, that agriculture will do this. But the money was not there. We're all hungry. Do you understand? So it got to a particular point, not because they were bad. No, they were not bad people. They were just so amazing. It got to a particular point. They cannot endure it again. Money was not coming in. The only thing we're seeing was vision, passion, and everything. And they left one after another, which is fine, totally fine. It is now that I started understanding the morale behind it. Because there was no money, we're not feeding well at some point. They had to leave. Then I was left alone with the vision. So to me, those guys are my heroes. That being said, along the line, it got to a stage when you start traveling, when people see you in the plane, especially when you are loud on Facebook the way I am, people think you have all the money in the world. That is why you are traveling. And I started attracting another set of people. Those are the worst set of people you can attract because they are with you to know your secrets, which is fine. I mean, to learn from you and run with it, not to learn from you to develop what you have. Then at another stage, you will meet another set of people that believe in what you have done in your track record, that have seen your progress and feel that you are important to their nation, to their world. When I talk about their world, that is, you can impact more people, for example, within the country. For example, this kind of person in my life happens to be the special advisor to the president of Nigeria on youth empowerment and job creation, Afolabi Mokoide. I met this man, I think after my trip to Germany and everything, to the G20, as an Empower volunteer, I was so impressed. He brought me to his office. Through him, I got access into Hassel Rock. He came to my house. Imagine, he left Abuja, came to my house in Ikorodu, came to my office, entered my living room. So these are some of the people that believe in your vision and believe in your future. So we have three types of people. So now, it is very important and expedient for you to look back to those that believe in your originality, to those that started with you. They might be frustrated because they can't continue with that funding, which is totally understandable. But I think you need to look, like Shegun can tell you some people that were part of it when he started. There's no way he could throw them off. The first set of people I started with, today when they write me a mail, Sipasi, please, I need a recommendation letter. I will leave whatever I'm doing to attend to them. Why? Because I know the role they play in my formative stage. So I think these are three kind of people you need to understand. Some people might be with you now because you started traveling, you started making names for yourself. They just want to learn and run with it. Be aware of them. Bring them in. Know how to leverage, how to maneuver your way. Then when you get to a point that people start seeing what you are doing and see that you are relevant for the country at large, or you are relevant for their community, those are the type of people that will take you to your destination. So it's all about looking at your hindsight, I mean the back, your insights, those that are with you now, and your foresight, those that will follow you to the next site of your destination. Then lastly, you asked a question about sustainability, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember. Now, you have 17 naira in your account and you're able to finance someone 40K. Morally right. Morally right. However, I am just being sincere with you. How do you want to live your life if that 40K does not come from the person that gave you that money to sponsor that child? Or this period of COVID-19, like people are not coughing out money again. Then you are not getting money to sponsor those children any longer, and you are still having your 17 naira in your account. I understand that part. Do you understand? Guys, it is very important that you learn how to reward yourself and pay yourself. Even as an NGO, nobody will tell you that NGO don't pay themselves. Very large international NGOs earn better than businesses. You should know that. So I will stand anywhere to tell anybody that NGOs should pay, no matter how little, they should pay themselves. And volunteers has to be paid if the funds are available. It is very important. So I just want to advise you, my brother, that find a sustainability is key, else you'll be frustrated. So it's better to be sustainable and not be frustrated. Probably you can reduce the funding, like speak to the schools of the children. Like you are the one giving scholarship. What can we do? Then the difference, how can you use it to grow the organization? When I talk about growing the organization, pay bills. I mean, you are using transportation, you are communicating with people, your internet and stuff like that. Those are the things I don't know, and it's painful till date. I really use my energy instead of using resources. Do you understand? So, I mean, I think, yeah, that's what I can say about that.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you
You're
very, very
welcome.
much.
Yeah. So don't feel guilt to pay yourself, please. Don't feel that guilt to pay yourself. It is very important to say saying. Yeah.
I want to add to what Pastor said. Two things that really resonates with me, and I just
did I see your own face? If you turn the camera.
And I also just want to add to that. And the first one is that if you cannot afford to travel, sincerely watch movies or watch documentaries, read books.
Right.
I did, for me, I did not get to travel early enough in my career. My organization was already known, popular before I even got my first opportunity to travel, which was NWF. But before then, I knew everything that was going on. I knew I had watched too many documentaries, too many movies. I've done so many online courses that I know who what happens where is the institutions in different countries, that if I'm a fake person, I can technically fake it for you and you would think that I've gone to all those places. So that's one thing. So for one thing that has really helped me is using the resources that I have part-time in the best way possible to achieve whatever I can achieve. So if I don't have that level of exposure that comes with being able to travel, I will just find other ways to get myself exposed. The second thing that I know I've said it before and I want to also say it again is that I think one thing that is important about setting yourself up for success or setting your organization up for sustainability is to create that sense of awareness that it is important you pay everybody that works with you and yourself. So even if you cannot afford the physical cash, let it be on record that this money is meant to be paid to you, or this money is meant to be paid to someone. Let it be on in record. So you can have it, okay, I am donating this to the organization, but let it have a record that yes, you are not just doing it for free. Let it be there that it might be, this is now my own donation to the organization for now. So maybe after 5 years, when you begin to hammer, you can now begin to pay yourself. Like I said earlier, if you are not part of your board of trustee, then legally you should be earning money. You are an employee of that organization, as you might be executive director. That's why you not see myself. I will not write myself as founder or all those things that will make of the Zozo networks, and they have money, they have to pay me. So I just wanted to add to that.
Yeah. So thank you. I think Farhad was talking about the snap sign I showed you guys in Lagos. I mean, yeah, just do this. Yeah. All right. So any other person?
Right. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, Sipasi. Yes, my name is Emmanuel, and I must say I'm very glad to connect with you this night.
Thank you.
I'm into the agri-tech sector, and I would like to connect with your organization. The name of my startup is Agrinotech.
Okay.
Right. So there's this we pivoted recently after some studies as regards the future of food, COVID and post-COVID. And basically what we are doing is that we are trying to entrench the concept of white collar farming while addressing the low tech purchasing power of rural farmers.
Right.
So recently we reached out to an Israel agri-tech organization, Vulcan International Partnerships, and we tried enacting a partnership kind of that will help, address the low tech purchasing power of rural farmers in Nigeria here. But we are still in communication. But I wanted to seek your advice. How do you think? Because when we look at the like farming generally in Nigeria, in Africa, it seems the farmers are not yet trying to adopt technology. And from our studies, we've realized that they have the low-tech purchasing power, so that's why they don't want to adopt it. But we're also considering that after COVID, they might want to seek ways to leverage technology. So how do you think we can easily bring in and entrench precision farming and agri-tech, as it were, in the African farming system?
Thank you so much. That is my field, so I'm really happy. Thank you for asking that very good question. So I think I would advise strongly that you should create demonstration plots. It is very important. Now, to farmers, they want to see what works. That is one of the barriers, one of the pushbacks of technology for farmers. They want to see, has it been tested here and approved? Because a lot of people have come into the country, show farmers so many things. At the end of the day, they just sell their produce and those stuffs don't work. And not because those stuffs doesn't work, because it is not adapted to the Nigerian condition. So if you can invest time in creating demonstration plots where you are doing these things and you are having more yield per hectare or per half hectare and stuff like that, and you bring farmers there to see, the farmer leaders there to see, to see what you are doing. Come on. Everybody wants an increased yield, but they just want to see, it's not you telling them. So by doing that, then of course, and also consider what they call local content initiative. The technology, you can't, personally, I feel it is very wrong for you to import technology. I feel it's wrong. I feel technology must be appropriate and adapted. So when you bring a technology, it has to be adapted to our local condition, and it has to be an appropriate technology. For example, tomato processing plants. You can't just bring one tomato processing plant from Europe and bring it to Africa. It will seems well because our own farmers here, they are scattered around. So can we have an appropriate technology that has the concept of local content that has local content initiative, probably for a community farming technique. So when you have that small stuff, you can put it in a particular community and you have smallholder farmers come together to utilize it. So that way you are dancing to the tune of the farmers, responding locally to their need and not just bringing a central processing system. So I think demonstration plots and localizing the technologies, those are the two things I would like to tell you. Consider speaking to the organization in Israel about it and see what they can do to get that done. Yeah. I hope that's helpful.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. Thank you so much. And sir, please, what's the name of your organization?
Protect Ozone Sustainable Livelihood Initiative. I'll put it down. You have my email address. You can email me.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Any other person?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. We can
hear you. Good evening. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. My name is Yola. It's the second time of meeting with you, and it's very inspiring all along. I have two important questions that I wanted to attend to. Number one is tell us the lifestyle of a social developer post-COVID. What do you envisage as how it's going to look like aftermath of this COVID-19? Is it going to continue as usual, entering the community, do what we have to do, or there are a bit of changes? So what do we look out for post-COVID as a social impact blessing? Then the second thing I want to um, give me a kind of establishment on is self-development and social impact. How do they, to what extent, or from a personal perspective, how has self-development helped you to go the height you have and then towards the goal you also want to attain later? Thank you, sir.
Oh, nice. So, thank you, my brother, for that very good question. Let me start from the second, then I come to the first. Nothing beats self-development. I can remember vividly the first time I met Shegun. It was not this way. And I can tell you that from that particular first time, he has been developing himself, and you can see it vividly. You know, there are some things you see, but you can't explain. You can see the development. And likewise, myself, like, assuming I failed to develop myself, sincerely speaking, I would be a local champion and I would be a mediocre in my rural community. I say that again. Assuming I fail to embrace personal development and take opportunities along the line, challenge myself, I will remain a local champion and a mediocre in my rural community. If you are going for, I was discussing with a friend, you know, when you're in a country like the US, like you tend to connect with people across Nigerians abroad in diaspora a lot. So we speak people from Canada, UK, Germany, and stuff like that. And one thing that we kept stressing is that this society, I mean, here, there is no way, there's nothing you can do about it. You are forced to develop yourself. And one of the reasons why things are not really happening for us well in Africa is because when we get to a particular stage, we feel we are developed. I mean, we feel we are cool. You know, we are the champion. For example, I got Future Awards. Future Awards is actually a big deal. But then it was a big deal for me. But I dusted it away. I looked forward for the next. So looking forward for the next, meeting people along the line, you know, like I go out, I meet people that speak so well. I want to speak so well. I mean, I don't want to speak like them, but I want to speak in my own way, but very well. You know, I meet people that challenge me, that I can do this thing better if this person is doing it well. Like the way that, I mean, some of you might be feeling that, oh, Sipasi has done a lot, he's doing his PhD in America and stuff like that. But I'm still looking forward to other people, you know, like there's some things that I still look forward to you guys in Nigeria. I mean, I was telling Shegun that I wish I'm in Nigeria at this particular point. Like I, in quotes, envy you guys as well. Do you understand? So that is the power of developing yourself. And if you don't develop yourself, you fall out of the circle. Let me tell you, if not for the fact that I kept on developing myself, Shegun will not bring me to come and speak with you. Do you understand? I mean, you will fall out of that particular circle if you don't. So it is very important for you to develop yourself. And the more you develop yourself, the more mouth you will have. Let me put it in our own way. In that particular field, the more you develop yourself. Now, let me tell you, Protector Zone, we are shut down for a while at this particular point. But the fact is, if I come back to Nigeria, I'm coming home next year. Like, people that fail to develop themselves, I mean, I will have mouth. So that one is just there. So that is the power of development. So it's not about having mouth, but it's about being able to do more when you are better developed. You are able to do more. You are able to extend. For example, if I come back to Nigeria now, I can go to the Lagos State government, Ministry of Agriculture, like I have this idea, I want to implement it. Do you understand? Because I've gotten to that level, I developed myself to that level. So it is very expedient that we take conscious efforts to develop yourself. It is very expedient, you know. So to your first question, which I've actually forgotten, can you refresh me?
Okay, I asked as what would life be like?
Oh yeah.
What are your expectations?
So before 9/11, maybe you guys are familiar with 9/11, the what's it called now? The crash that happened then. And after 9/11 incident, um, the airports globally, airports started these stringent security checks, which was never there before. For example, if you are traveling out of Nigeria, they search everything. You pass through several scanners, they search you and everything. When you get to the country you are going to, you see people, security guards will search you, ask you to raise your hand, spread your hands. Sometimes they touch your balls. You see the ladies, they touch their breasts, just to search. Reason being that something happened in the United States and globally people responded to it. Now, children given birth to after 9/11 incident, they will think that going through stringent security checks at the airport is normal. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But the truth is, it is not normal, but it is the new normal. So now we see it as being normal, but for us, for someone like me, it's not normal. It is the new normal because before now it was not there. Now, COVID-19, children that will be born after now, like let's say children that are growing now, they will see handshakes. I mean, handshakes before now were normal, but now it is becoming abnormal. So it will become a new normal for them that you don't shake, you don't hug. If this tarries for a very long time, which I think is going to happen. I mean, people will not shake, people will not hug and everything. So it will become a new normal. So coming to the NGO sector, there will now be a portion. So if you want to apply for a grant now, so it is wise for you to put a session on health and safety, COVID-19 health and safety. That your first line item is going to be like, you are going to buy nose masks, hand gloves, and what have you. Then first line item, you're going to have online training on COVID-19 so that when they come to physical training, they're maintaining social distance and everything. So these are the words we're going to start using in our grants. And again, I think it's going to change a bit. Funding from international organization is going to change, like what is happening to, what's it called now? WHO. So I think there's going to be reduced funding for so many things, but there will be increased funding, I think, for the health sector and to mitigate this. But before this would happen, it's going to take a time. It's going to take a very long time because countries want to stabilize. So yeah, that's what I think. I hope I was able to answer that. Do we have anyone who wants to jump in? Oh, guys, thank you so much. We've spent 10 minutes less than an hour together. 10 minutes less than 2 hours together.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Egbe. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I should be the one saying thank you so much. I've also learned a whole lot from just listening. And thank you for being yourself. One thing I always say to the people that work with me is whenever we have programs, and I know you know this, whenever we have programs or whenever we organize trainings or bring facilitators, one major criteria is I don't just want people that talk or people that just bring things and just say things or aspire to perspire and all those other for me, I always look for, does your life and your track record match the words that you say, or are you just using your outward appearance to cover an inward emptiness, which I see some people do these days. So, there are very few people that I can count the number of people I've ever personally invited to a Zozo program before I can count them off, and because there are people I can vouch for, there are people that I know, there are people that have seen their life, not just the words that they speak or how they project themselves on social media, but I can see how authentic they are and how real it's been working with them. So I really just want to emphasize and appreciate that part, that I really cherish
Thank you.
and celebrate you for that. As in, like,
thank you.
And I'm never apologetic about mentioning names. The other day we were talking about Victoria Ibiwoye, talking
Yeah.
about Owen Koko, Lushola, Isaiah,
Yeah.
Uju.
Right.
I can count the very few people that I know that these people are not just making mouth, they're actually really sacrificing daily at different levels to actually just do the work that they are doing. And this is beyond words or beyond everything Sipasi might have tried to pass across today. I would say watch these people and emulate their character, and not just the words alone, and not just what you see on social media. We are proof that you can be real and still make it. You may not have all those psycho fans following you up and down or celebrating you on social media, but you can make it by being real and keeping it real and being true to your authentic self in this field. Your personal brand can align with your authentic self. And,
Right.
and I think it's one thing that today is all about, and it's one thing I really hope that we all get and take away from this session. So thank you so much, guys, for being a part of today. Thank you again, Sipasi. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, guys, be the end for today. We'll catch up later. Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye. I said good